I now give the floor to our first panelist, Mr. Mohammad Tofazzel Hossain Miah, Senior Secretary, Prime Minister's Office. You have the floor, sir.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and good morning to you all. Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Excellencies, panelists, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. You all know that homeless is an acute reality for all of us, and the number of shelterless people is constantly changing over the world. It's not a sudden phenomenon as you all have described, rather it is an accumulation of constant deprivation, poverty, unjust planning, and natural disasters. Bangladesh, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, converts housing to an inclusive and sustainable model and has addressed the issue of homelessness in a very, very different perspective. You know, Ashrayan, Bangla word that stands for shelter, is linked up with need-based training, skill development, microfinancing, healthcare, sanitation, safe drinking water, and electricity. And the ultimate point of convergence is not only to give a house, but ensuring economic self-reliance through increased earning, empowerment of women, and human resource development. I would rather focus on some of the issues that every landless and homeless family is given, as our Honorable Prime Minister has said, that 2 decimals of land and a brick-built house of 2 rooms with veranda, kitchen, and hygienic toilet facilities. This housing facility is simultaneously urban and rural focused, including cities, towns, coastal areas, chor, and hilly areas also. Every rehabilitated family is provided with need-based training. Women and children, earlier prone to various infectious and waterborne diseases, are now connected to nearby community clinics and having regular primary health care, immunization, reproductive and maternal health services. So this is the uniqueness of Ashrayan. That is, it is not only a shelter program, it includes the other areas of human life. A secured and stable housing ensures almost 100% access to compulsory primary education in Bangladesh. Women and children are now able to protect themselves from the adverse and hostile environment because of cluster housing, where all the social benefit programs are in place, and frequently the government officials visit the sites and supports the beneficiaries. You know, as it is mentioned, the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, he took the very first move to rehabilitate the landless and the underprivileged. And it is an extraordinary declaration by our Honorable Prime Minister during the Mujib Barsho, or the Mujib year, that not a single person in the country will remain homeless in Mujib year. So that promotes accelerated speed to the implementation of the program. And I would rather focus on it is a state-sponsored housing facilities, which is totally free of cost. It's neither subsidized, it is nor rent-based. It is free of cost totally. So if many issues have been discussed by our by different corners, but if we look into Ashrayan from the global perspective or from a different global lens, what we would say that it's only one intervention that delivers multiple results. Suppose if we go for UN SDGs 11.1, but I would rather say that many other interventions have been there, and we have made it successful under our Prime Minister's leadership. Under this project, whenever we talk about the ownership of land and house provided in the joint names of the husband and wife with accessible green and public space, meaning ownership and control of economic resources by both husband and wife, which is mentioned in SDG target 1.4. If we look into SDG target 1.5, reducing the risk of those affected and distressed by climate extreme events, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina implements the largest ever refugee rehabilitation project of 139 multi-storied buildings in a single location for the climate victims. It is mentioned that it is not only the transgenders or the mining workers or the leprosy patients, the poor, elderly, widows, distressed women. So by involving them, we could eliminate the discrimination and ensure the representation of the underprivileged, which is enhanced through the social inclusion, and that is mentioned in SDG target 10.2. So what I would rather say, the project ensures access to adequate and equitable hygienic lifestyle. This is very important in every developing society. And water use efficiency has increased as in the SDG target 6.2. So every household gets a toilet attached and a tube oil or a treated surface water we are providing them, and free electricity connection is provided to the houses. So what I would rather say that if we look into the impact of housing or the experience of Bangladesh or the Bangladesh context, I would rather say what changes it has made. It is we have our empirical evidences. We have our survey. It shows that free of cost housing has a ripple effects to an entire community, to an entire society. The economic opportunity, if we talk about, is that it ends the cycle of intergenerational poverty through spending more on goods and services, rather cutting our cost from house rent and other areas. So spending more on goods and services by the women, that is the game changer of the of developing a human spirit. So if you talk about the decent housing, we have found that this has brought stability in child's physical and mental development and education. And whenever we are talking about ownership of land, so our experience is that home ownership promotes self-employment. In everywhere where we have given our houses, we have found these people are self-employed. This has promoted job creation through small enterprises, through businesses, and household farming. Even at some cases, we have found very wonderful example of wealth creation. It means they have invested money and they have their growth also. So the ownership of land of house by women certainly reduces domestic violence. This is a very good example. So as our UN, from the UN Habitat Executive Director told, the conversion of house to a home, I would rather say that we have already converted our houses to homes. Yeah. And we call it Sheikh Hasina model for inclusive development that turns a house to a home by multiple social and economic interventions and promoting unique safety, self-esteem, and peace. And when there is in a family, there is safety, self-esteem, and peace, it converts the house to a home. So with this, I would rather say that thus Ashrayan is a sustainable human settlement planning with a unique approach to poverty alleviation, economic self-reliance, empowerment of women, social and economic growth, and mainstreaming the underprivileged community. And what we all wish that this project, all the projects of housing that would realize our collective ambitions and revitalize our global partnership for sustainable housing. Thank you.